Encyeh, what do European companies have to do to enter the Iranian market?
There are different ways for the foreign companies to come to Iran. One of them is that they directly come to Iran and have a 100% own foreign company registered in Iran. This is something that has happened since 4 or 5 years ago, that it is possible for the foreign companies to have their own company in Iran fully registered by the foreign shareholders without requirements of having any local partners. However, some of times the foreign companies does not choose this way because they prefer to have a local partner that is familiar with different ways of doing business or is familiar with the local market. So the other way is that to purchase shares of an already existing company and make a joint venture with an Iranian company that is already existing and doing its business, or by an Iranian partner make a new establishment or make a new company as an Iranian company to be registered in Iran. The other way is to have the representative office or their branch office being registered in Iran. However, you should always consider that the scope of activity of the branch office or representative office is more limited than a fully company that has been registered in Iran. And there are also different classifications for the companies that are registered in free trade zones of Iran or in the mainland. So the government has provided some privileges for the companies that are registered in the free trade zones of Iran. So in case, depending on the business policies of the company, if it is workable for them to have their office in the free trade zones of Iran, they would be prevailed with some advantages, some tax advantages for around 20 years, and some visa entrance for the foreign colleagues and foreign board members and managers, and also in case of the labor law of Iran there are also some facilitations. But in the mainland the regulations of the mainland would prevail.
So looking at the market as of importing into Iran medical technology from Europe until last year, how dynamic has that been?
Obviously, we should always consider that the sanctions has been an element or a preventing element for import of products from the foreign companies to Iran. So before the sanctions, we could see that in many different sectors, including in the health and medical devices, presence of the foreigners were very few, and they normally tried to not be presented in Iran by themselves. They normally try to just sell their products through a local agency or local distributor that they knew, and only through concluding contracts. But after the lift of sanctions, we are witnessing the more full presence of the companies. They want to be in market themselves, either through cooperation with local partners or independently, but they are looking into this market as a massive market. So even some of them are thinking about having their factories to be installed here in order to produce the products here in Iran, so that these products can be sold to the Middle East in the region, because nowadays Iran can economically be considered as a base or as a safe basement in the Middle East for promotion of the products and the whole economy in the region.
So as a law firm, you do consultancy for example, European companies, but you also do consultancy for Iranian companies that want to export their products to Europe. Can you tell us how dynamic this market is and how it's developing?
As to the Iranian companies, we, especially when we talk in this sector, we should always consider that we need know-how and we need the technology. And technology and know-how has always been something that was in the hand of the more developed and more Western countries. However, there are very few companies in Iran that are pioneers pioneer in this sector, and there are also some companies that are called science-based companies that the government protect them. They are normally the companies that have know-how or patents in different sectors, including in the health sector, and they are actually being protected for making goods to be produced and then to export them. But it is not only this aspect that we should look at that, but the economical aspect is another thing that we should also look at that, and that's because of the sanctions, the private sector of Iran was in lack of finances, and because of the slow movement of the whole economy during the previous years, the private sector of Iran is not as strong to be ready for being ready to export or to be a player in the whole world, in the world of medical sciences or in different sectors. So our understanding is that first we have to go through the first phase of presence of the foreign investors in Iran, so that the private sector of Iran and also the Iranian companies can make a mixture between this know-how, technology, circulation of the money, and getting access to the customers. And then at next stage we will come to this stage that the Iranian companies also would become good players in the whole economy for this area.
So what would be your personal message to Europeans interested in doing business with Iran?
My personal message is that first of all, health sector has always been secured from all issues of sanctions. So it was some of the exemptions that even before the sanctions it was possible for them to do. But the other message generally is that Iran is considered as a massive market in terms of its populations and also different potentials that it has for foreign investment. From the other hand, the government now is trying to promote foreign investment in Iran, and they are trying to provide as much protection as possible in different aspects, including the regulations. However, we understand that Iran, like many other countries, has some impediments as well for doing business, but risk is one of the elements of doing business. So based on their policy, they should consider that, and we hope that they would have a fruitful presence in Iran.